Good afternoon. Welcome to Colorado State University on this wonderful December day. Will the audience remain standing? Ms. Sarah Louise Piplo will sing the National Anthem. Please join in the singing if you wish.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting
Please be seated. Good afternoon. My name is David McLean, and I serve as the Dean of the Walter Scott Jr. College of Engineering. On behalf of the Colorado State University Administration, the Board of Governors, and the staff and faculty, I welcome you to this commencement ceremony for the Fall 2017 College of Engineering graduating class. Today, we celebrate the accomplishments of our students who have completed the requirements for a baccalaureate degree in the majors offered by the College of Engineering. Please join me in a round of applause in congratulating the students on this joyful occasion. I'd like to now introduce some members of the platform party. Would each of you please stand briefly when I call your name? Ms. Victoria Bohannon P., Applications Engineer, Aeroelectronics. Dr. V. Chandrasekhar, Associate Dean, International Programs. Dr. David Dandy, Department Head, Chemical and Biological Engineering. Dr. Tony Frank, President, Colorado State University, and Chancellor, Colorado State University System. Dr. Sue James, Department Head, Mechanical Engineering. Dr. Kevin Lear, Associate Director, School of Biomedical Engineering. Dr. Anthony Marchesi, Associate Dean, Academic and Student Affairs. Dr. Carmen Manoni, Faculty Member, Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. Dr. Rick Miranda, Provost and Executive Vice President. Mr. Frank Ostovich, Senior Vice President and General Manager, ASIC Products Division in Broadcom. Dr. Steve Schaefer, Professor of Practice, Mechanical Engineering. And Dr. Chuck Shackelford, Department Head, Civil and Environmental Engineering. I'd like to ask Dr. Marchese to step to the podium.
Thank you, Dean McLean. As a land-grant institution, Colorado State University takes special pride in our role in providing access and educating students who are the first in their family to earn a university degree. This fall, 7 of our 48 graduates are first-generation college graduates. I ask that all of our graduates who are first generation to please stand and be recognized. Now I would like to recognize our Honorary Society members. Tau Beta Pi is the National Honor Society representing the entire engineering profession. It was founded in 1885 to recognize students who possess superior scholarship and exemplary character. Will the Colorado State graduates who are members of Tau Beta Pi please stand and be recognized? Congratulations. Other engineering societies recognize outstanding students in the individual majors. These include Omega Chi Epsilon for chemical and biological engineering, Chi Epsilon for civil engineering, Eta Kappa Nu for electrical and computer engineering, and Pi Tau Sigma for mechanical engineering. Will the graduates who are members of these honor societies please stand and be recognized? Congratulations.
Now we recognize our students who have earned the distinction of University Honors Program Scholars. To become a University Honors Program Scholar, a student completes an integrated program of studies, which includes 4 honors seminars, 2 honors courses in the major, and an honors thesis, while achieving at least a 3.5 cumulative grade point average. Will the following students please stand and remain standing when I call your name? I ask the audience to hold the applause until the end. Joel Kraft, Electrical and Computer Engineering. Hitomi Okada, Environmental Engineering. Let's congratulate these students for their accomplishments.
It is my pleasure to introduce today's commencement speaker, Mr. Frank Ostovich. He is Senior Vice President and General Manager of the AISC Products Division in Broadcom. In this role, he is responsible for product strategy and product development that enables his division to grow in market share and revenue in networking, machine learning, and high-end computing. During his time leading this division, annual sales have increased from $100 million to $1 billion each year. Frank leads an organization with 500 engineers located in Colorado, California, China, India, and Singapore. He holds a BS in Electrical Engineering from Brigham Young University and an MS in Electrical Engineering from Colorado State University. When he's not working, Frank enjoys traveling with his family and is a long-distance runner. I note that he has completed 13 marathons. Please join me in welcoming Frank to the podium.
I am so excited to be here today. And about 18 years ago, I finished my master's dissertation here in CSU, and I drove to Loveland, and that was the most peaceful drive I ever done. But I remember as I was finishing that drive, being a little concerned and being a little worried and having some fear about what's going to come next in life. right? So I think some of you are graduating, some of you might be getting your master's, some of you getting a PhD, some of you might have jobs already, some of you are probably looking for jobs, maybe some of you don't want to work, who knows, but I want you to think, do you feel a little bit of fear? Do you feel a little bit of concern about the future? So that fear is natural. So we're going to talk a little bit about that fear. But what we're going to do here a little bit, and we're going to talk about what types of fears do we have. First of all, we're going to divide fears into two parts. One fear, we're going to call it a marathon fear, and the other fear, we're going to call it a rattlesnake fear, okay? So since I run a few marathons, I can tell you about the marathon fear. So, the first time when I signed up for a marathon, I started feeling this thing in my chest going like, that's going to be 26 miles, and that's okay in a car. Not so okay in a bike, but definitely not okay running, okay? Then I started thinking about my knees and everything like that, and then despite of that fear, I decided, you know what, I'm going to try it. Sounds interesting, something that not a lot of people do. So that's what a marathon fear is the fear of something new, something difficult. It's a real fear, okay? At the same time, here in the foothills, I was running this summer, and I heard that very distinguishing sound of the rattlesnake. And I don't know if you heard one of those noises before when you're running, but you know what it is immediately. You know it's not a rabbit, it's a rattlesnake. And you feel that fear, but it's a different fear. This is a fear that if I go and try to take a picture from too close, or I don't wait until it moves, I might get bitten, I might end up in the hospital, and my wife might think less of what she thinks of me already. So it's a good fear to stay away from, okay? So that's a rattlesnake fear. However, as we grow up, sometimes we start accumulating fear and start losing the ability to distinguish between a marathon fear and a rattlesnake fear. So what I want to tell you is when you feel that marathon fear, I want you to ignore it. When you feel that marathon fear, when you're signing up for a difficult job, I want you to consider running that job. I want you to consider doing it. And your life might end up being the most exciting life that you could ever live. So let me tell you a little bit about my life. Not so interesting, but to me it was pretty interesting as a marathon so far. I graduated from CSU, but first I went to BYU. And when I was a BYU student, I used to have a hard time finishing the tests on time. I'm sure none of you have that problem, but I did. And I remember taking a class called systolic arrays. My professor, who is awesome, will remain nameless for a reason that you'll make it very clear pretty soon. And he's not from CSU, so please, all of you, relax. So this nice professor, as I finished the test, I realized that I could not finish the last question. And there were just a few questions there. As I missed the last question because I couldn't finish, I knew I could do it. But I was so disappointed in myself that I could not do it fast enough. I went to his office and I told him, Dr. something, I can do this problem, but I ran out of time. And he said, Frank, okay, try it. So I went ahead in the board and started doing the problem in front of him, and I got it right. And he said, okay, yeah, that's good, but it would not be fair if I give you full credit because the other people didn't have time to do this. But I'm going to give you a partial credit for it. If I recall correctly, it was maybe a third. And as I was walking out of the office, I remember very well that he told me, Frank, wait a minute. You will be a very good test engineer, maybe a good verification engineer, but I would recommend you don't become a design engineer because you're a little too slow for that. So, as well-intentioned as it was, those words cut me deep, and because I wanted to be a design engineer. And that fear of the marathon started coming. And as the job applications came from Hewlett-Packard and some of the cool companies here in Colorado, there was a job in Fort Collins. I looked in the map, Fort Collins. Oh, that's where it is. And then it was a design job. So I said, I'm going to try it. I might fail, but I'm going to try it. I interviewed, and by some miracle, I passed the interview, and they hired me. And through a lot of hard work, today I lead 500 super smart engineers. I would think all of them a lot smarter than I am. And we build chips that are the most complex, and we designed it, and some of those design ideas came from me because I decided to ignore the limitations and do it and run that marathon. So when you feel that fear on your first job, on your second job, that third job, think about it. Is it a marathon fear or a rattlesnake fear? Rattlesnakes are things that are going to limit your life, are choices that we make that might be illegal things, things that hurt our body, our mind, things that are not a good idea that are going to hurt us and others. Always listen to that fear. But if it comes to a marathon fear, my advice is run it. Train for it. Get those knees hurt. It's worth it. You'll enjoy it. Now, please don't all go sign up for a marathon. That's not the point, but I think you get it. But in my job, let me tell you a few things that I did that were kind of interesting. As I started my job, one engineer told me, Frank, don't do tests for the new chips. It's a lot of stress, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of pressure, and you're not going to get promoted. And I heard that 3 or 4 times. That was enough for me to say, that's exactly what I'm going to do. As I did that job, I found that there was a lot of repetition. So I automated, I wrote scripts to get it done faster and things like that. And that got the attention of the managers, and I got promoted. Later on, they asked me to interview to be a manager, and there were 3 jobs. 2 of them were really coveted. They were design managers for chips, and the other one was design automation support. And everybody told me, don't take the design automation job, because that job is a lot of stress. It's not recognized, and everybody's going to be complaining about all the automation tools. So I decided to take that job. And interesting enough, I knew all the managers because everybody had problems. I interviewed them, understood what their problems were. We automated the tools, we made them better. And then I was the one that was asked to become a director of engineering. After that, then came another marathon fear. My boss told me, hey, we're having some problems in marketing. And I was like, how do you spell marketing? I don't know. Can you be the marketing caretaker? I was like, English is a second language for me. Caretaker, can you define that for me? So I became the caretaker of marketing. Marketing started reporting to me. I had to go and take some remedial MBA classes from MIT to understand what finance was, what strategy was. But what a fun ride. The fun things that I learned, the things that I was able to figure out. After that, my boss retired, and the CEO asked me, hey, we want you to run the division. That time, the fear was big. This was an ultra marathon. I knew that most managers, more GMs, general managers in Broadcom would not last very long. But I decided, let's give it a try. And I tell you, my current job, leading 500 engineers, designing some of the most exciting chips in machine learning has been a lot of fun. Because mostly, I decided to ignore the fear of the marathon. So if there's a road less traveled, take it. Life is short. Enjoy it. Fall on your knees, get scrapes. It's okay. You're young. But distinguish that fear between the rattlesnake and the marathon. Lastly, I want to give you 2 pieces of advice that helped me a little bit in my career. One is very simple. If it's hard, take it. As I looked at jobs in my careers, as I looked at different things that happened in my career, as I looked for things that others rejected because they were hard, those are the real jobs. Those are the jobs that will never be layoffs because they're absolutely needed. This cap's about to fall, so with your permission, I'm going to take it off. Okay, my hair's probably a mess, but that's okay. The other advice I want to give you is make sure that you are a level 3 engineer. What does that mean? That means that you can answer a question and connect it from whatever problem that's in the sky all the way to the electrons or to physics or to forces, to the very fundamentals of engineering. Let me explain. Some of us, including myself, are very excited to take master level classes, computer architecture, the latest stuff, or the latest trend of mechanical engineering, the latest research in bioengineering. With all the respect, the minute you take one of those classes, that minute that class is obsolete. Because there's somewhere in Palo Alto, there's somebody in China that's inventing something that is a little more modern. But that class of fundamental electrical engineering, that class of statics, that class of dynamics, that class of thermodynamics, that is never going to be outdated. And it's going to be the only constant thing in your career. And when you have a boss or a customer that asks you a question about a problem, and you can connect that problem to the electrons, or to statics, or to forces, or to thermodynamics, they'll say, this lady, this guy knows exactly what he's doing. I want to work with him. This is the person that can do that. But if you're a level 1 engineer, you can only answer the question up here. If you're a level 2 engineer, you can answer the question here. If you're a level 3 engineer, you can take it and connect it to physics. You connect it to math. You connect it to the world that we can touch. So let me give you an example. For example, there's a chip that is not running very well at hot temperature. Let's say a microprocessor. If you're a level 1 engineer, you explain it to your boss, you say, you know, CMOS chips run slower at high temperature. Your boss will say, that's true. But why? Now comes the test if you're a second layer engineer. If you say, well, CMOS chips currently have wires made of copper. Copper, sheet resistance for copper, when you heat it up, the sheet resistance increases, therefore the electricity reduces. Wow, that's pretty smart. You're a level 2 engineer. But then why does that happen? Well, why does sheet resistance increase? Sheet resistance increases because when you heat up a metal, all the particles are moving a lot faster. So that poor electron has a harder time making it to that traffic. Boom, I'm in kindergarten, I get that. Then you are a level 3 engineer who you can connect. So all those books that says use books for thermodynamics that you have returned, go buy them when you have some money, okay? Because you don't right now, unless your parents are rich. And after your tuition, they're probably not rich anymore. Okay? Last thing I want to tell you, and that was not in my script, I hope I didn't get in trouble for that. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to tell you is be candid. Say what you think. Say exactly what you think. Don't say what people want to hear. Say what people need to hear. Even if it gets you in trouble, you will end up doing better in life. Such an honor to be here. The American dream, excuse me, is real. I came from Bolivia with nothing. And this country's been good to me. This school's been good to me. Go and get it. American dream is waiting for you. You can make it anything you want to make it. Just want to wish you the best. Stay strong. If you see a marathon, run it. Okay? Thank you so much.
Well, that's going to be a tough act to follow. That's a great speech. Well, I think we can't follow it. It's now my pleasure to present the candidates for the baccalaureate degree from all engineering majors. Please rise. Dean McLean, it is my great pleasure to present to you these students who have completed all the requirements established by the various majors in the Walter Scott Jr. College of Engineering for the bachelor's degree. The Faculty Council has recommended to the Board of Governors that these students receive their bachelor's degree at this time. Rick?
This is the moment you've all worked towards and dreamed about. Here it is. So with great pleasure, let me offer these words to you. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Governors of the Colorado State University System, I hereby confer the bachelor's degree on each of you, together with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereunto. Congratulations. That's it, yes. there's no more. Yeah. Tony?
Okay, little instructions. So students, you can be seated momentarily. We will now award diplomas individually to the members of the graduating class. I would like to ask Dean McLean and the department heads to come forward and shake hands with the graduating seniors as they accept their diplomas. As a benefit to the students and their families, a photographer will take pictures of the graduates as they cross the stage. Graduates, please pause for your photo as you shake hands with your department head. A final photo will be taken after you leave the stage. And now, will the graduates from all engineering majors please prepare to accept your diplomas?
The academic honor guidelines for students who are graduating with distinction are as follows. Summa cum laude designates approximately the top 1% of graduates in the university. Magna cum laude designates approximately the next 3% of graduates in the university. Cum laude designates approximately the next 6% of graduates in the university. Come on up. Michelle K. Filak, Bachelor of Science, Biomedical Engineering and Mechanical Engineering. Go ahead. Brandon Mark Kreutz, Bachelor of Science, Biomedical Engineering and Mechanical Engineering. Tyler Hayes, Bachelor of Science, Biomedical Engineering and Mechanical Engineering. And now our graduates from the Department of Chemical and Biological Engineering. Joseph Hunter Dennis, Bachelor of Science, Chemical and Biological Engineering. Suha Ahmed Al-Harthi, Bachelor of Science, Civil Engineering? Okay. Oh, we only have one CB, sorry about that. Now our graduates from the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering. Munther Kamis Al-Rasbi, Bachelor of Science, Civil Engineering. Wesley Stephen Beck, Bachelor of Science, Civil Engineering. Mark Patrick Flood, Bachelor of Science, Civil Engineering, cum laude. George J. Fry, Bachelor of Science, Civil Engineering. Nick Marquez de Souza, Bachelor of Science, Civil Engineering. Jendong Huang, Bachelor of Science, Civil Engineering. Daniel Lawrence McFarland, Bachelor of Science, Civil Engineering. Thomas Edward Ogren, Bachelor of Science, Civil Engineering. Stephen Alexander Shabiwa, Bachelor of Science, Civil Engineering. Joseph Howard Vappel, Bachelor of Science, Civil Engineering. Maverick Bo Woodworth, Bachelor of Science, Civil Engineering. Jacob Allen Ziegler, Bachelor of Science, Civil Engineering. Nastasia Renee Abercrombie, Bachelor of Science, Environmental Engineering. summa cum laude. John Taylor Bowker, Bachelor of Science, Environmental Engineering. Andrew Russell Joyce, Bachelor of Science, Environmental Engineering. Alexandra Elizabeth Keller, Bachelor of Science, Environmental Engineering. Alexa Marie Kinsinger, Bachelor of Science, Environmental Engineering. Sarah Elaine Kozbob, Bachelor of Science, Environmental Engineering. Kristen Pico, Bachelor of Science, Environmental Engineering. And now we welcome our graduates from the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. Yosef Faisal Alatiki, Bachelor of Science, Electrical Engineering, minor in mathematics. Garrett Richard Bergeron, Bachelor of Science, Computer Engineering, minor in computer science. Christian Michael Carrico, Bachelor of Science, Computer Engineering and Mathematics with a concentration in information. Christopher Allen Chapin, Bachelor of Science, Electrical Engineering. Jonathan H. Hill, Bachelor of Science, Computer Engineering. Joel Allen Kraft, Bachelor of Science, Electrical Engineering with a minor in Computer Science, cum laude. Jordan Cole Lankford, Bachelor of Science, Electrical Engineering. Mitchell Dallas Roberts, Bachelor of Science, Electrical Engineering. And now with Engineering Science, Eric Quirin Gouch, Bachelor of Science, Engineering Science and International Studies. And from the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Abdul Rahman Nasser Al-Musalam with a Master of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering and a Certificate in System Engineering. This concludes the awarding of diplomas.
Thank you, Ms. Beal. So engineering graduates of fall 2017, let me add my congratulations to that of the others who have spoken before me. Today represents an important milestone in your life. Much hard work and many long hours went into achieving this goal, and you should be proud of your accomplishments. Higher education continues as a powerful tool to better your own life, those of others around you, and society as a whole. A degree is one of the few things that once earned can never be taken away. Your intellect and analytical skills, your ability to reason, and your judgment are all enhanced because of the education you've received at CSU. Indeed, this is a day to celebrate. I ask that you recall your first days on campus. For many, this was an exciting and I'm sure at times overwhelming experience. But here you are at the end of that journey. I think all of you will agree that this journey would not have been possible without the support of family, friends, and members of our staff and faculty. So I ask you, please take time on this day of celebration to thank those special individuals who shared in helping you achieve this amazing success. As I reflect on the many amazing engineering alumni from CSU I've had the privilege to meet, I'm struck by two common characteristics: their passion to make our world a better place and the incredible impact they've been able to achieve. I think of Kent Rominger, civil engineering alumnus, naval aviator and Navy Top Gun, NASA astronaut and 5-time shuttle pilot and commander, head of NASA astronauts, and now Vice President for Engineering at Orbital ATK, leading the development of new launch vehicles for our nation's spacecraft. Tina Larson, chemical engineering alumni, leading efforts to develop the next generation of antibiotics to fight increasingly drug-resistant infections. Simon Prakash, mechanical engineering alumnus, former hardware leader on the Apple iPhone and Google Glass, and now leading a biomedical startup in the Bay Area. Susan Benzel, electrical engineering alumni, innovation leader in Hewlett-Packard, reinventing the way computers work. And Frank Osovich, whom you heard from earlier, leading product development and strategy for a $1 billion division in Broadcom. And now you, the newest CSU engineering graduates. We are all very proud of you, and I look forward to seeing the great things that you all will accomplish. Today's diploma is not the end of your journey, but it is a significant milestone and achievement along the way to your success. The degree that each of you have earned here today is a fulfillment of the vision of Abraham Lincoln, who over 150 years ago signed the act that established land-grant universities, providing access to an excellent education and success for those with the tools and the desire to make a difference, no matter their economic background or where they came from. 2017 engineering graduates, you have not just the ability, but also the responsibility to make our world a better place. Lead by example, and you will help bring others along with you. My best wishes and congratulations to you all. Go Rams. I would like to introduce as our next speaker that's going to provide a welcome to the Alumni Association, Ms. Victoria Bohannon-P. Victoria earned a BS in Electrical Engineering from Colorado State University in May 2017. Victoria and her sister Elizabeth, who also graduated from CSU in 2017, were the first in their family to earn a university degree. Victoria is currently employed by Aero Electronics as an applications engineer. She is active in her church and as a volunteer in the community, including serving as an advisor for the National Society of Black Engineers chapter in Denver, with a mission on increasing the number of students of color in STEM careers. Victoria, will you please come to the podium?
Greetings. My name is Victoria Bohannon-P, and 7 months ago, I was sitting where you are now, holding my diploma from the Walter Scott College of Engineering. I know for a fact most of you are really happy to be done. Don't deny it. All those long, hard hours of homework and projects, the lack in long, hard hours of sleep, you were starting to become an engineer, and that is no easy task. You had to have the passion, drive, and energy to do your homework after going to your student org meeting, playing your instrument or video game for a good hour, and finding time to eat, like me. Some of you had an on-campus job, say as a mentor coordinator, was the president of a student org, say the National Society of Black Engineers, had a leadership position at another student org, say InterVarsity, and had to find time to cook for yourself and your roommate. Mine happened to be my sister. Some of you understand what it feels like to have to put on a happy face for the student org you led, and had to convince them that you all can make time to put on a student outreach program on a Saturday, which we all know is the try to get ahead of your homework / don't do any homework to keep my sanity day. But you have one thing a lot of people wish they had, the force. It is strong within you. And it is, because look at where you are sitting today. I'll always remember the impatience I had sitting during the ceremony, anxiously waiting to shake the dean of my college's hand to get, spoiler alert, an empty but beautiful green and gold diploma cover that I worked 6 hard, long years for. I remember the immense exhaustion I felt from homework, exams, biking or boarding or skating or walking around our wonderful campus to classes for years in the middle of all the construction on campus. But spoiler alert, all that hard work pays off. Most importantly, I remember the gigantic sigh of relief I felt Anyone else feel like they could just melt from the happiness of achievement you've made today? That was me. But I also remember my family and friends jumping out of their seats along with me as we all had the strong urge to scream, "Yes!" after realizing I made it. Anyone else feel that way? You should, because after today, some of you can say, "I'm part of the first generation in my family to graduate college," or "I'm the first teacher, scientist, engineer, poet, care provider, food producer, journalist, or entrepreneur in my family," or "I'm joining the amazing group of colored men and women professionals in the world," or even something as simple as saying to your loved ones, look what I've achieved, look what I did. In the end, though, you'll have one important thing in common with each other and more than 200,000 others who have come before you. You are all alumni of Colorado State. You're all about to jump into the real life now, and another spoiler alert, you're ready. Your path may be different from those sitting around you, but at least all of you know that you'll be leaving a legacy behind at Colorado State University. And not just any legacy, but your legacy. When you leave this campus, be assured your university will not leave you. No matter where your personal or professional journey take you, know that the CSU Alumni Association, your college, and your former professors will be here for you every step of the way. Congratulations, go Rams, and the force will be with you always.
There are some people with us here today who deserve thanks for their many contributions. Would the faculty and staff in the College of Engineering please stand? We've recognized the graduates and their on-campus support group. I'd now like to acknowledge the contributions and support of the off-campus group. With the parents, spouses, partners, spouses-to-be, family, and friends of the graduates, would you please rise and be recognized? I would now like to ask everyone to rise and join in the singing of the alma mater. The words to the alma mater are on page 1 of your program.
Hail to thee, our alma mater, Colorado State. Memories are everlasting in this place so great. May thy green and gold unite us, loyal ever be. Colorado State, our alma mater, hail, all hail to thee.
Please be seated. On behalf of our faculty, staff, and students, I thank the parents, families, friends, and guests for joining us today here in this joyful celebration. Please remain seated while the graduates, faculty, and platform group depart. And again, thank you for joining us. Have a safe trip back home, and congratulations again to the newest engineering graduates of CSU.